can wait and kind of get a little emotional bearing, do you think you should?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You do?
Yeah, I think that anytime that you got to make a decision like this, that you should be calm and not emotional.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to something like this that's going to affect you for years and years.
Yeah.
You don't want to just make a rash decision. And a lot of us have a tendency to be like, I just want this over with. Well, I'll agree to anything. I just want out of it. I mean, I know so many people that have done that. And then 2 years later, they're, oh my gosh, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
And
I did.
so, you know, and sometimes it's devastating and you can't recover from it for years financially, especially if you can't rebuild your own credit and you don't have a good paying job, you don't have good income. There's just so many things that affect your ability to recover. And so why wouldn't you want to have the best advice and the best team before you make these decisions? Because once you've signed them and they're agreed on by both parties and the judge, you know, signs off on it, it's done. I mean, you can't go back and change it. And, you know, then again, you know, what happens if you have a divorce agreement? And especially in this time, because you can't go before the judge and, you know, one party's not cooperating or there's, you know, you've lost a job, you know, the ex has lost a job, whatever. There's so many things that can happen. You know, you really need to be as lucid as you can. You need to be as aware as you can. You need to have the best advice that you can have. And there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of professionals out there that are very good and they're very eager to help you and they'll give you free advice.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes they're not getting, again, you know, like I might not be selling you a house or listing your house, but I still am willing to help you with the real estate part of it. Mm-hmm. And there's several loan officers that would give you good advice. There's a lot of financial planners that would, you know, give you what if scenarios and not charge you anything for it. Yeah. But 100% of the time, you're going to pay an attorney for anything they do. And I'm not knocking attorneys. That's what they do for a living. But the reality is they would prefer that you got those services somewhere else because they just want to do their job. Yeah. And, you know, they don't want to be your counselor and they don't want to be your financial advisor and they don't want to be, you know, your real estate agent or any of those things. Or at least they shouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And, you know, anytime that you can have a client, regardless of what your profession is, that is reasonable and not doesn't have a agenda to get back at the other person or doesn't have self-sabotaging thoughts, you know, or they're just so such an emotional wreck that they can't even hardly get out of bed in the morning, you know, that it's a lot better if you can help them get to where they can, you know, have an intelligent conversation without breaking down and crying. And
exactly.
And here, another thing that we do is we shut everything out. You know, we don't listen to advice from people, but we do listen to our family and our friends that's telling us, you know, what their thoughts are, and they're not professionals. Right. You know, but we do, you know, we like to listen to them because they let us, you know, talk to them about our feelings too. So, I mean, you know, they encourage us and support us and emotionally, but they're not professionals. So, you know, really you don't want to take their advice. You know, yes, listen to it and, you know, have the conversation because they care about you, right. But don't believe because, you know, their experience maybe have nothing to do with your experience. I mean, everybody situation or somebody that they know went through this and this is what happened. Don't assume that that's going to be your case because it may not. It wasn't in mine. Right. You know, my outcome was totally unexpected. So, you know, a lot of us just have a tendency not to really listen to advice that we don't want to hear.
Well, that's what, you know, in the life coaching profession, that's what we call holding space. We don't jump in the pool. There's, you know, in my clients, I could be the only person in their life that tells them the truth. You know, and well, that really most of the time that is right. Because I don't empathize. I don't say, oh my God, I hate that happened to you. I don't. That's not my job. My job
Right.
is to get curious and help them get the result that they want.
Uh-huh.
You know, what do you want? You want to make it on your own. You want to feel happy again. You want to, so I don't buy into your story. That's the thing. You know, I don't buy into, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. You know, and and it feels like that. You know, it's not that I don't relate, because I do relate. I do relate.
Right.
And every single time, it's how we're thinking and feeling that creates our results. You know, if I'm thinking, just let me get out of here, I just want this over with, the result will probably be, oh, it'll be over with. You know, it'll be over with.
Well, that part of it will, but the effects of it won't.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So the result, if the thoughts are, I can't deal with this, you know, and you're feeling you're feeling scared, you're feeling abandoned, you're feeling rejected, then the actions are going to be that of knee-jerk reactions. You know, knee-jerk actions, and the results of those are going to it'll be long lasting until that thought process can change, and that, you know, because the circumstance is going to remain the same. I think that's funny. That's a lot. Well, I do it a lot. Is I think instead of changing my thoughts and my results, I want to change the circumstance. The circumstance will never change.
Yeah,
you know?
that's very true. That is so true.
I want to change. Like I don't want this. I want this to be different. I want the laws to be different. I want this to be different. Well, no, I have to change my thinking for anything to change, because the circumstance is always going to stay the same. As far as I know, I'm still divorced, and I still never got a dime of child support.
Yeah.
You know, as far as I know, that's still, and that agreement is still legal.
And, you know, that brings up a point. You mentioned child support, but that also has the children also have a lot to do with how things go too, especially now when they're home, and that you've got this other dynamic of them going back and forth between two homes and being exposed, and, you know, you being afraid they're going to be exposed, or they have been exposed, and now you've got to, you know, they've got to stay at the other parent's house and they can't come home. And I mean, I can't imagine how difficult that would be and I think we discussed this on our last call, but, you know, so if you do have your house on the market and you're still trying to sell it, you know, what can you do, or what, you know, can you reasonably expect agents or other people to do? And if you have a child, you want to be a lot more particular about who comes and looks at your house and what, you know, they get exposed to, but also, you know, how are they feeling emotionally? You know, their house is for sale, their home is, you know, people are coming in their private space. They're, you know, so we have to be really sensitive to their needs as well. And some of the things that, you know, that we as agents can do is, maybe not put a lockbox on the door, maybe not put a for sale sign in the yard where the child has to see it constantly, or whenever, you know, there's showings, we just make sure that it's only whenever the child's not home. You know, there's lots of things that we can do to be sensitive to those kids. And we do need to consider them during this or any other time, but, you know, especially now, because they've got so many things they're having to deal with right now, and the fear and everything. And so I just feel really bad for the kids, even in good times with divorce, but right now I just can't imagine if I'm in that situation.
Right. Well, and especially when I think it takes so long, and I think it takes certain experiences for us, even as adults, to dig deep into our mind and really know what we're thinking. You know, because during my divorce, I thought, I've done a lot of writing on this, and I think I thought at that time that I wanted Jeff to love me again, and not, you know, I wanted him to stay. But really, what I was thinking was I didn't care. if he
Mm-hmm.
did. I wanted him to stay regardless, even if he loved me or not.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that until years later
Yeah.
and some real internal work.
Mm-hmm.
And so and I was a grown woman. So how can it's interesting that, a child doesn't have the wherewithal to think these things, to know, to
Mm-hmm.
say like, all I think is I don't like it, but I just want to go play. I'm hungry, but I
Yeah.
wish dad
Right.
was here and I don't like you and I don't know why. I, I'm, and I'm sure things like wetting the bed come back again and
Uh-huh.
acting out, and I'm wanting this attention. And really it could be just something as simple as stop changing stuff. I don't like it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah. I
kids are,
mean,
they
even
don't,
adults hate change, but kids really do.
yeah, they don't know
Yeah.
they don't know that it's just, I mean, it's the selfishness of a child. Like, hey, stop
Mm-hmm.
changing, stop having different ways of thinking and doing and acting because I do this and this is how I like it. Stop doing different stuff.
Yeah.
And they
Right.
don't know to really say, like,
Don't rock my world.
it's like, quit rocking my world. I play my video games here and I talk to my friends. And when I have to go over here, the internet's not as good and it sucks. And,
Yeah.
that's what my son finally told me. It was great. This is not that long ago. I was just like, you always want to go to your dad's always now. Like, that's stupid. I mean, Jeff and I've been divorced forever, so I'm not,
Yeah.
I love Jeff. But I was just like, this is stupid. Why do you want to go to your dad's? He was just like, hello, his internet's better. And I was like, oh, so it's not that he's better.
Yeah.
And of course,
Right.
my 15-inch,
It's more than likely it's not, but that's funny. So
hello.
a lot of people, try to make, like, recreate their room at home, and everything's the same at the other place. Like, we get the same colors and the same bedspreads and stuff like that, which I guess that really does help somewhat. But, that's just a little thing that there's some bigger things going on here we need to really think about.
Yes. Now my daughter, it was interesting, just talking about kids and how they're affected. My daughter, when she was 20, she's 22 now, almost 23. When she went to college, this house that her dad and her brother lived in, that they had, when somebody else moved in with her dad, she cried a river when somebody moved into her room. I mean, this was a grown woman. She was 20 years old, almost 21. And I didn't realize it hurt her feelings so bad.
Well, even adult children that are, parents divorced, they have these thoughts and feelings too. I mean, their life changes.
Yeah.
And they have somebody else that's in their home, in their family home. Things change, the rules change. You have other kids that come into your life that you don't really like, or so there's just lots of things that even adult children don't particularly care about. But smaller children that don't really have a voice, they can't really, they're not allowed to be unhappy about things. This has nothing to do with you. Your parents just don't like each other. It does affect them.
Big time. Well, and it's even if we tell them the things that make it seem better for them, it's not your fault, it's not this, it's not that. It's really easy for them to take on the role of our protectors. I can remember when I was really sad, both of my children were very preoccupied. Will you be happy? Are you happy, Mommy? Mommy, are you happy?
Yeah.
And I can remember that. And now I can even, that's very, I hated putting them in that role, and it's happened in Que Sera and all as well. But it was, I think, it may have left some residual, because my daughter, who is 22, but disclaimer, she's neurotic anyway. She loves it.
Hope she's not listening to us.
She exactly. I hope she knows she is, but she's still very preoccupied with my happiness, and it's just it's a habit. Are you happy? Are you happy? And yeah. She's very, it's become a habit for her.
Yeah. Well, she loves her mama.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, is that I think a lot of us as mothers have a tendency to want to hang on to the marital home because it's where our kids grew up, and that's where, our children.
That.
And I think that we make decisions based on that too, which is not sometimes the best situation, even for them in the long run.
Yeah.
But then we got this other thing that we have to consider too, is where am I going to live? If I sell my home, where am I going to live?
Yeah.
You may end up having to rent an apartment that you didn't want to. I mean, I know people that live in apartments. I know women that are homeless because they didn't have the funds or the means to go and buy, another house or even pay rent. And today, you have to qualify to rent just like you do, a mortgage. You have to have a certain credit score, and there's unless it's a place that you really don't want to live, and you definitely don't want to bring your kids into, so there's some things that can happen. So again, it's best if you just open your eyes, you find a way to get, on even footing, and have somebody that's giving you logical, unbiased advice on here is what, you can reasonably expect, and make good, firm decisions, not based on your emotions, because you could get yourself in big trouble.
I think that's another, that just sparks and I'll send you this on Messenger, as I have to run, but I'll send you this on Messenger. What I think a great topic, and if anybody's watching and you think this would be a great topic, if this is something you are going through or getting ready to go through or scared of going through, is having another woman in your kid's life.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, it can be part of divorce.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Well, Suzie, thank you. It was great to talk to you again. And I just wanted to give you the opportunity to tell people how to get a hold of you.
All right. So you can email me at suzie@therelationshipyogi.com. And I specialize in this situation. If you're in this group, I am sure you're going through a divorce, getting ready to go through a divorce, but I would be, the reason to contact me would be to find out your patterns of thinking and what led to this. And I'll leave you with something, because our thinkings and our thinking and feeling, the way we thought and the way we felt, created this relationship that is now getting divorced in the first place. The way we thought, our thinking created that relationship. So if you can create that one, you can create another one that's even better with the new experiences going forward. So Suzie at the Relationship Yogi.
All right. And I'm Sherry Frazier. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams, Greater Lexington, and I'm also a real estate divorce coach with Seasons of Divorce. You can reach me at 859-229-5945 or 859-644-9024. And you can always message me here on this platform. And I'm very, very available. You can find me anywhere. Just, it's SHARI, Frazier, FR.